So thank you for clicking part 3 of this part series of what Soul Calibur means to me, and I really appreciate you clicking on this video because when I do these 3-part series, usually the first video does pretty well, the second video does less, and then by the third it's just diminishing returns at this point. Maybe because people already heard the aspect or my opinion on what they wanted to hear about, or maybe they just don't like my opinion, but it usually starts off at a pretty high note and then drops down. So if you're here on the third video, just know that I appreciate you. So there are niche aspects of Soul Calibur itself that some people maybe tend to ignore that really makes it stand apart from me. Like I said in the first video, the encyclopedia is one of those things that I think is insanely glossed over and almost to a criminal extent. Like, there's a lot of jam-packed lore, and there's almost more lore and more story in the encyclopedia than there is in the actual game itself, like as far as story mode, Soul Chronicles, and Libra of Souls go. There is like, I think it was like almost 100 pages of straight up lore. And you get to know like a lot of like the history of where things have gone and where things are going. It's just like something that I think people shouldn't sleep on, and I wish they didn't. But I can understand it because it's kind of boring just to sit there and read when you're trying to play a fighting game. So, no, I guess, shade to you guys. Like, we play the game for what we play the game for, right? And that's what we like. So there are like several other niches that are within the game that I kind of enjoy. Alright, this is going to get me turned off this video right now. People are going to like just shut off the video. But I actually enjoy some of the shipping that comes along with Soul Calibur from the community. I always wanted like Sung Mina and Hwang Sung Young to get together, and in the past timeline they were more like brother and sister. So the fact that this timeline, like, they're going full in on like the romance between them, that's poggers to me. Like, I mean, I'm straight up like into it, and I really like that aspect. And again, this is where all like the dudes are gonna like shut off the video, and all the people who are here just like for like ranked are gonna be like, yeah, this is no. But it's something that's small that not many people in the community focus on. Those little narrative aspects that like find their way into our headcanon that come to realization within the narration itself of the games. And oh man, I'm here for it, dude. Like, any type of little character interaction or any type of relationship amongst themselves is always going to like make me get more into the story, because it becomes like a soap opera at that point, and like you just want to know what happens. Unless you skip the story and you just go to the fights, because some people do that too, which is totally fine. But I mean, narration is probably like my second favorite thing of Soul Calibur, so for me, I will sit there and I will eat it all up. So shipping aside, there's other like smaller aspects of Soul Calibur that often get overlooked, and I believe the 8-way run is criminally underrated, like the movement system in Soul Calibur. There's like something of a similar thing that goes on with Dead or Alive, but it's nowhere near to the extent and fluidity that Soul Calibur brings to the table. And the 8-way run is really good for utilizing that 3D arena, especially for like evasion or setting up combo strings or just like dodging out of the way. It almost becomes like an arena fighter, but at a 2D level, and I love it. Whenever I'm playing somebody online, I usually see them just gun straight for you, and they'll do blocks and perfect guards and stuff like that, but I don't see many people utilizing the 8-way run system. There's some people who overutilize it, will just run around you in circles until like they actually have an opening, but for the most part I see people just play it like it's a straight up 2D fighter, and they don't utilize that momentum or that movement that aspect of Soul Calibur brings. Maybe I'm wrong about that, and this is totally anecdotal when it comes to things that I've seen in people I've played against. Maybe you have a different experience, and I'd love to know in the comment section down below. The costumes. The costumes are criminally underrated in Soul Calibur. Soul Calibur 6, they try to do something where I think they overshot. A lot of people tell me that they want to see old costumes come back for especially 2-player, and especially for the cast characters, like, oh, where's Sung Mina's like Soul Calibur 4 outfit, or where's like Sophitia's like Soul Calibur 2 outfit, stuff like that. And one of the best DLCs that like I actually enjoyed from Soul Calibur 5 was when you got the classic helmets back. Like, you had like Rock's like Rhino helmet, and you had like Nightmare's like Soul Calibur 1 helmet. A lot of that stuff was great, so I really do appreciate the costumes. And 6 kind of went their own way with that. They gave you an extra additional 100 slots for the cast to kind of create your own costumes for them, but none of them are really traditional unless you get to like the DLC, where like Hwang's DLC actually comes with Sung Mina's classic outfit, but you'd have to like again customize her and take up one of those slots to use, and it's just like more shuffling around to get to that character than being able to choose just like the colors, like a different costume, because a lot of the color swaps that they have for their main costumes are not really considered costumes. Like the Solomel's got like a version where like his hood's down instead of up. I don't really consider that a costume, being that like there's damage in the game anyway, so that can technically happen while you're playing anyway. But yeah, it's underrated, and I know a lot of people in the community want a lot of the traditional costumes to come back, and I want to see them come back too, because I did appreciate that a lot in other games, how you had different variations of each character. Hwang Sung-gyung has something like that. He's probably the closest, but he's the last DLC, so they put like the most work into him. He's got his evil version, which is like what happened at the end of Soul Blade and Soul Edge, which is like one of the games that like most people haven't really played that much. A lot of people started with Soul Calibur 2. Maybe you started with Soul Calibur 1 on like Dreamcast. If you did, hats off to you. But a lot of people haven't played Soul Blade and Soul Edge, which is actually the first Soul Calibur game. And Hwang Sung-gyung in that actually obtains Soul Edge and gets that evil form. And this is delved into a little bit in the arcade version of Soul Calibur 3, where he goes against Yoonison. It's kind of like a throwback, but he gets that total costume where he kind of looks like Akuma, kind of. But that's a definite callback to Soul Edge. So I really appreciate that, but I wish I saw more of that, you know what I mean? Like, there needs to be more stuff. Like, it'd be nice if we saw, like, Setsuka's, like, classic outfits as well as with her new design. Same thing with, like, Hwang. Hwang's new design is really awesome, but I wish that, like, they would also have, like, his older stuff. They do have, like, his blue costume, which is really similar to his old costume, but it's not exactly the way it is, you know what I mean? So I do appreciate that kind of stuff, and that's probably like the majority of like what I wanted to talk about without boring you guys to death. So everyone has different various aspects of Soul Calibur, why they love the game and why they like it, and I want to know your thoughts. I definitely do. So in the comment section down below, I want you to sound off and tell me your favorite aspects of Soul Calibur, what you agreed with me on, what you disagree with me on. And if you find a description box, you can go to my Discord, and we always have conversations about a multitude of things in that Discord. So we'd invite you over there, and it's completely open. You don't have to like subscribe or anything like that, though it would help the channel if you did, memberships and stuff like that. But with that being said, we're going to bring today's video to a close, and as I always say, I love it, thank you,
and thank you.